The image stabilization of the Hero 8 already works great. With Hypersmooth 3, the stabilization should have become even better. Is this difference still relevant? And does the improvement only affect the heavily cropped boost mode, or also the other stabilization modes that do not have such a strong crop? Let's find out in this video. For a better stabilization, it is usually necessary to crop the image more. So let's look at the beginning whether for Hypersmooth 3 the image has to be cropped even more. As you can see here, the frame size decreases with the intensity of the stabilization. On and high result in a crop of about 9 to 10%, boost in a crop of about 25%. The crop factors are the same as for the Hero 8, so there are no changes in this regard. Now I have taken some very simple handheld shots. The Hero 8 and the Hero 9 are attached to the same mount. With on, you can notice slight camera shakes. I've tried to keep the mount stable here. I can't see any significant differences between the Hero 8 and the Hero 9. If I now set the stabilization to high, there is a first surprise. The image of the Hero 8 looks more stable. You can see that particularly well in the magnification. Because I couldn't believe it at first, I repeated this type of shot several times. The result was usually the same. Only when I intentionally moved the cameras more, like here, the difference to the Hero 8 disappeared and the shots were comparably stable, as if the Hero 9 would less strongly compensate small camera shakes. You can see the same result very well here too. Here I tried to make a dolly forward as stable as possible, one of the cinematic camera movements from my last tutorial. The stabilization is set to high, and again you can see that the shot of the Hero 8 looks more stable. Even with boost I come to the same result. Please keep in mind that in this case, similar to the previous examples, the cameras need to only compensate slight movements, which obviously works better on the Hero 8. Here you can see a vlogging test. It's hard for me to see a clear difference in these shots. The camera is attached to a pole, but maybe the shot of the Hero 8 seems a bit smoother here too. These are separate shots though, because I could only mount one camera to the pole at a time. And by the way, if you are new here, my name is Werner, I live in the Italian Alps, and on this channel I do GoPro and filmmaking tutorials. Consider subscribing if you're interested in these topics. For current prices and offers for the Hero 9, I have put some links in the video description. Now I mounted both cameras with two handlebar mounts on the bike. The bike generates enormous vibrations in this case, what is very demanding for the stabilization. The images of the Hero 8 and Hero 9 look very similar to me in this situation. Both cameras can handle the situation well, even with the setting high. The same applies of course if you set the stabilization to boost, as you can see here. Here I mounted the camera on a chest mount. Already with the setting high, both cameras handle the situation well and can compensate the movements. I can hardly see any differences between the Hero 8 and the Hero 9. Therefore, it is not necessary to check the situation with boost. Now I have done a walking and running test. First with the stabilization set to on. Here the Hero 9 seems more stable. In the running test, where the camera is moved very strongly from left to right, the Hero 9 image seems to be much more stable. Let's see if high and boost lead to the same result. In the walking test with high, the Hero 8 shot looks a bit more stable to me. Look at the house at the end of the path. This also applies to the running test. When I look at the walking test with boost, I find it hard to tell the difference. It's also not easy to see a clear difference in the running test with boost. Both cameras are actually handling this difficult situation very well. I would perhaps say that the Hero 9 compensates the strong movements from right to left a little better. This is a shot taken in 2.7K 120. This mode, just like 1080-240, now also supports Hypersmooth Boost, which is not the case with the Hero 8. Here you can see the difference between on and boost. High is not supported. Very briefly summarized. The stabilization of the Hero9 does not quite convince me yet. I can't see any significant improvements with Hypersmooth 3. At the setting high, the stabilization of the Hero8 works better overall, especially with only slight movements. Unfortunately, Hypersmooth High is the stabilization mode I would use in most cases. I think the software is not quite optimized yet. In fact, the camera also tends to crash frequently. What do you think? Just write your opinion in the comments. And that's it for today. Give me a like as feedback if the video was helpful or interesting for you. There will be a number of videos about the Hero9, so stay tuned and see you next time.